It's my 25th birthday again. The champagne flute shatters against the pristine marble floor, the sound a gunshot in the sudden silence of my penthouse. My sister, Elena, doesn't even flinch. Her lips are still locked with Marcus's, my fiancé. Or, well, he was. In another life and for a few more minutes in this one. The bitter metallic tang of déjà vu, sharp as a razor blade, floods my mouth. I've lived this exact soul-crushing moment before. I died from it, my heart literally giving out. And now, through some impossible twist of fate, I'm reborn, standing here, forced to witness this betrayal unfold once more. The air crackles with unspoken words, with the fragments of my shattered world. My breath catches. A tiny, hitched thing. Elena finally pulls away from Marcus, a triumphant smirk playing on her perfectly glossed lips. Her eyes, so like mine yet so cold, meet my gaze. There's no remorse there, only a chilling satisfaction. She looks like a cat that's not only caught the canary but is now parading its feathers. "Sophia," she says, her voice dripping with false sweetness, a sound that used to make my stomach churn with a desperate need for her approval. Now it just makes me feel tired. "Marcus and I have something to tell you." "I already know." The words echo in my mind, a ghostly refrain from a past I can't escape. My gaze flickers to Marcus. He can't meet my eyes, his face a mask of guilt and weak denial. He looks pathetic, a puppet whose strings Elena holds with casual cruelty. He always was too easy for her to manipulate. I loved him, or thought I did. The man I thought he was, anyway. "I'm pregnant," Elena announces, her hand resting possessively on her flat stomach. She beams, as if she's just announced the arrival of a savior, not the architect of my heartbreak. "It's Marcus's." The guests gasp, a collective wave of shock and pity washing over the room. Their eyes are on me, waiting for the inevitable breakdown. Last time I gave it to them. I screamed. I cried. I think I even threw something before the pain in my chest became unbearable, before the world went black. "My heart," they said later, a sudden catastrophic cardiac event brought on by extreme emotional distress. At 25. What a way to go. This time my hand is steady as I set my own champagne flute down on a nearby table. The gesture is small, almost unnoticeable, but for me, it's monumental. It's the first step on a different path. My heart trembles, a frantic bird against my ribs, but I don't collapse. I bite the inside of my cheek, hard. The sharp, coppery taste of blood grounds me, a painful anchor in the storm of my emotions. Don't scream. Don't cry. Don't give them the satisfaction. The words become my silent mantra. A flicker of movement in the periphery catches my attention. Across the opulent room, half hidden in the shadows near the grand piano, a man watches. Alexander Kane, CEO of Kane Industries, a rival tech giant. I remember him from before. He'd expressed interest in acquiring my small but innovative startup. We'd had a few preliminary meetings. He was sharp, intense, and saw the potential in my work when few others did. He was also at my birthday party last time, a brief, polite appearance. Now his gaze is fixed on me, unreadable, yet strangely knowing? Or perhaps it's just my overwrought imagination. He's probably just another spectator to the Chen family drama. This city thrives on such scandals. The air feels thick, charged with Elena's triumph and Marcus's shame. My throat is tight, and for a wild second, I fear the past will repeat itself, that the crushing weight in my chest will return. I focus on the metallic tang in my mouth, the sting a small price for this fragile composure. I will not break, not again. I will not let them shatter me. My eyes meet Alexander Kane's across the room. A silent acknowledgement passes between us, or maybe I just wish it does. He slightly inclines his head. It's a minuscule gesture, but in the circus of my life, it feels like a lifeline, or maybe just a different cage. I can't tell yet. The only thing I know for sure is that this time, the story won't end with my heart giving out on the cold marble floor. This time, I'll write a different ending. I have to. I manage a retreat, a quiet escape to the master bathroom, the sound of the murmuring party a dull roar behind the heavy oak door. My reflection stares back, a stranger in a too expensive dress. Pale, eyes too wide. But there's a flicker of something new there, too. Resolve. Or maybe just the first glimmers of a carefully constructed facade. The cold porcelain of the sink feels shockingly real against my trembling palms. An anchor to this second terrifying chance. The memories. Oh God, the memories. They don't just come. They assault. I lean heavily against the counter, my breath coming in shallow gasps. It's not just the sting of this betrayal, this party. It's the phantom pain of the last one, the one that killed me. Flashback. The same scene 2 years ago in a different timeline. Elena's triumphant, venomous words. I'm pregnant. It's Marcus's. The world tilting, the air sucked from my lungs. Marcus's pathetic, mumbled apologies mixing with her cruel, satisfied smile. The sudden searing pain in my chest like a vice tightening, crushing the life out of me. I remember the surprised look on Elena's face as I crumpled. The distant shouts, then nothing. Just cold, endless black. A massive heart attack, the doctors had pronounced. 25 years old, dead from a broken heart. It sounds so melodramatic, like something out of a badly written novel. But it was real. My reality, my end. Until it wasn't. I remember waking up with a gasp, tangled in my sheets, the sun streaming through the window of my old apartment. Not the penthouse. My old apartment. My heart was pounding, but it was the healthy, rhythmic beat of a living person. I'd scrambled for my phone, the date glaring up at me. 2 years prior, I was 23 again. 2 full years before that party. 2 years to relive, knowing the catastrophic end that awaited me. The psychological torture of it has been almost unbearable. Every smile from Elena, every tender touch from Marcus over these past 2 years has been a twisted knife in my gut. Knowing. Always knowing. I tried to change things, subtly at first. Tried to steer Marcus away from her. Tried to build walls around my heart, but it was like trying to stop a tsunami with a teacup. Elena is a force of nature when she wants something, and she always wanted what was mine. And Marcus. Marcus was always weak, susceptible. But lying in that bed, reborn at 23, a strange calm had settled over me after the initial terror. If fate was cruel enough to make me relive my worst nightmare, then I would be strong enough to face it differently. I wouldn't be a victim again. I would survive, more than survive. This time, I'd be prepared. This time, I wouldn't break. I'd let the betrayal play out, yes, because some things I suspected were inevitable. But the aftermath? That would be my script, my quiet power move. The cold of the sink seeps into my skin, a welcome chill. I splash water on my face, the droplets clinging to my lashes like unshed tears. I won't shed them, not for them. My mind drifts back to Alexander Kane. His company, Kane Industries, had been circling my small tech startup, Innovate Next, even back then, in my first life. He'd seen the potential in my algorithms, the ones that could revolutionize data security. Marcus had always been dismissive of my work, more interested in the prestige of saying his fiancée was a tech girl than in understanding the actual innovation. Elena just saw it as another thing I had that she didn't. Another thing to covet or destroy. Alexander Kane, though, he'd listened. He'd asked intelligent questions. There was a spark of something there, a mutual respect, maybe even an unspoken attraction that I'd been too blind, too enmeshed in my toxic family drama to recognize. He was at the party. Again. What did that mean? Was he a piece on the board I hadn't considered? A ticking clock thumps in my ears, syncing with the frantic beat of my own heart. The party continues outside. My absence will be noted. I can't hide in here forever. I have to go back out there and face them, face the whispers, the pitying stares, Elena's smug victory. I take a deep breath, trying to steel my nerves, to anchor myself to this new resolve. I'm not the same Sophia who died on that floor. I'm changed. I'm stronger. Or at least I have to pretend to be. Then, a sharp rap on the bathroom door. My heart leaps into my throat. Sophia, darling, are you all right in there? Elena's voice, saccharine and laced with feigned concern. Showtime. The door clicks open, and Elena glides in, a vision in emerald green silk that probably cost more than my first car. Her eyes, large and deceptively innocent, scan my face. She's expecting tears, hysterics, the shattered remnants of the sister she's so expertly broken time and time again. She's practically vibrating with barely concealed glee, the hunter observing her wounded prey. "Oh, Sophia," she coos, her voice a low thrum of mock sympathy. "I'm so sorry you had to find out this way. We were going to tell you, weren't we, Marcus?" She glances back through the still open door where Marcus hovers awkwardly, looking like a scolded dog. He mutters something unintelligible. "It's just, it all happened so fast," Elena continues, turning back to me, her expression a carefully crafted mask of regret. "A whirlwind. You know how these things can be." I almost laugh. A whirlwind? Their affair has been a meticulously planned campaign on her part, waged over months, if not years, in both my lives. She's always been this way. I remember when we were children. I'd get a new doll, and within a week, Elena would have accidentally broken it, only to miraculously find an identical, slightly better one hidden away that our parents had forgotten to give her. Her entire life has been about ensuring she has the better doll, the better grade, the better life. And Marcus, it seems, is just the latest, shiniest toy she's snatched from my grasp. Instead of the explosion of grief she's anticipating, I offer a small, steady smile. "Pregnant? Wow, Elena, congratulations." The words feel foreign on my tongue, but liberating. Elena's perfectly sculpted eyebrows shoot up. Confusion flickers in her eyes. This isn't in her script. Last time, this was the point where I started screaming, where the accusations flew, where my composure shattered like cheap glass. "You're congratulating me?" she asks, her voice losing some of its syrupy sweetness, a hint of steel creeping in. "Of course," I say, my voice surprisingly even. "A baby is wonderful news." I glance past her to Marcus, who looks even more bewildered. "You must be thrilled, Marcus." He stammers, Sophia, I'm so sorry." "Sorry for what, Marcus?" I ask, tilting my head. "For creating a new life, or for the part where you forgot to mention it to your fiancé." My tone is light, almost conversational, but there's an edge to it, a sharpness I didn't possess before. Elena recovers quickly, her smile returns, a little tighter this time. "Well, it's not exactly traditional, but these things happen." She steps closer, invading my personal space. The suffocating scent of her expensive perfume, something overtly floral and cloyingly sweet, assaults my senses. It's a smell I'll forever associate with betrayal, mixed with the faint, almost imperceptible metallic tang of her guilt. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. "I suppose this means the wedding is off?" "I suppose it does," I reply calmly. This is the part where she expects me to beg, to plead, to fight for him. The thought is almost amusing. "Good." She nods, a brisk, businesslike gesture. "Because Marcus and I are getting married, as soon as possible for the baby's sake, of course." Each word is a carefully aimed dart designed to pierce, to inflict maximum pain. She wants to see me crumble, to see that familiar devastation in my eyes. It's what fuels her. I meet her gaze, my own clear and unwavering. "Well then, we should definitely take a picture to commemorate the occasion." I reach for my clutch, pulling out my phone. "Smile, Elena, for your announcement." Her jaw tightens. This is so far off script. She's visibly struggling to adapt. But Elena is nothing if not an actress. She plasters on a radiant smile as I lift the phone, positioning us side by side. Click. The photo captures her smugness, my serene smile. A perfect little tableau of her victory and my... what? My defeat? No. My liberation. This is a quiet power move, a declaration that I won't play her game by her rules anymore. "You know, Sophia," Elena says, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper as I lower the phone. "Marcus always said you were too focused on your little company, too ambitious, not soft enough. He needs someone who can give him a family, support his career without overshadowing him." More barbs designed to undermine my confidence, my very sense of self. They used to work. "Is that so?" I murmur, feigning mild interest. Well, it sounds like you're perfectly suited for each other then. I endure her litany of cruel, carefully chosen details about their love story, each one a twisted version of moments Marcus and I once shared. It's a perverse form of torture, but I listen, my composure a shield. The silence stretches for a moment, filled only by the distant thumping bass of the party music. Elena looks almost disappointed by my lack of reaction. I'm not giving her the drama she craves. We should get back to the party, I say finally. Wouldn't want to keep your adoring public waiting. Elena's eyes narrow. She senses a shift, something she can't quite understand. But she can't resist the allure of the spotlight. You're right, she says, fluffing her hair. They'll all be wanting to congratulate me. As we walk towards the door, I pause. Actually, Elena, I say, my voice light, I have a little surprise of my own to announce tonight. A flicker of unease crosses her face before she smooths it away. Oh? And what's that, dear sister? I just smile. You'll see. The air in the main room is thick with anticipation and the low hum of gossip as Elena and I re-enter. All eyes snap to us. Marcus, looking pale and hunted, immediately rushes over. Sophia, can we talk, please? He begs, his voice low and urgent, his hand reaching for my arm. I sidestep his touch. I think Elena already did the talking for both of you, Marcus, I say, my voice coolly polite. The scent of his familiar cologne, once a comfort, now feels like a suffocating blanket. But it's not what you think, he insists, his eyes darting around nervously at the watching crowd. Oh, this is rich. He's more worried about his image than my feelings. Some things never change. It just happened. Elena was upset about her last breakup, and I was just trying to comfort her, and I let him dig his own grave. His excuses are so hollow, they practically echo. He stammers about misunderstandings, about being confused, about things getting out of hand. Each word is another shovelful of dirt on the coffin of our relationship. It's almost pitiful to watch if it weren't so infuriating. The whispers around us intensify, a symphony of speculation. I can feel the pity, the curiosity, the thinly veiled satisfaction from certain social rivals. This is a feast for them. Elena, never one to be upstaged for long, steps forward, her hand once again protectively on her stomach. She beams at the crowd, a radiant Madonna of her own making. Everyone, she calls out, her voice clear and carrying across the room. Marcus and I have some wonderful news. We're expecting. A fresh wave of gasps, followed by a smattering of polite, if somewhat stunned applause. Elena drinks it in, her eyes shining. She glances at me, a triumphant glint in her gaze, clearly expecting my public meltdown. This is her moment, the culmination of her efforts. She wants to see me cry, to scream, to make a scene. Instead, I pick up my champagne flute, a fresh one, untouched, and raise it. To Elena and Marcus, I say, my voice ringing out with surprising strength. The confused murmurs that ripple through the crowd are almost palpable. May your life together be everything you deserve. The double meaning hangs in the air, a subtle barb that I know only a few might catch. I offer them a gracious smile. Thank you all for coming to celebrate my birthday. And now it seems we have even more to celebrate. This is my quiet power move, snatching the narrative from her, refusing to be the tragic figure in her drama. Marcus stares at me, his mouth agape. Elena's smile wavers, a flicker of confusion, then annoyance, crossing her face. This isn't the reaction she'd meticulously planned for. This isn't the Sophia she knows how to manipulate. Just then, the grand doors to the penthouse swing open, and my parents, Charles and Eleanor Chen, sweep in, fashionably late as always. Their eyes immediately find Elena, her hand still resting on her belly. My mother's face lights up. Elena, darling, what's this I hear? She exclaims, rushing to embrace her favored daughter. My father follows, beaming. It's a familiar scene, a painful echo from my previous life. They've always doted on Elena, the charming, socially adept one, while I, the quiet, studious one, was often an afterthought, a disappointment. Her surprise pregnancy will, in their eyes, be a triumph, a way to finally secure a wealthy son-in-law. My own heartbreak will be secondary, an inconvenient detail. The familiar suffocation of their biased affection, or lack thereof for me, presses down. I feel my resolve begin to crumble just a little. But before I can spiral too far into that old pain, a calm, deep voice cuts through the rising tide of family drama. Sophia, I turn. Alexander Kane is standing beside me, his presence a sudden solid anchor in the swirling chaos. He's taller than I remember, his tailored suit impeccable, his dark eyes focused intently on mine. Mr. Kane, I manage, my voice a little breathless. He offers a small, almost imperceptible smile. Alexander, please. He glances briefly at my parents, who are now fawning over Elena and a flustered Marcus, then back at me. His gaze is knowing, and for the first time tonight, I don't feel entirely alone. May I speak with you privately for a moment? He extends a sleek black business card. I believe we have some mutual interest to discuss. The air electrifies. This is it, the path diverging, the story changing. The cool night air on the penthouse balcony is a welcome relief after the suffocating atmosphere of the party. The city sprawls below us, a glittering tapestry of lights, the scent of distant rain mixing with the metallic tang of urban life. Alexander Kane leans against the railing, looking out at the view, a silhouette against the vibrant chaos. Your startup, Innovate Next, he begins, his voice calm and direct, cutting through the lingering tension from the room we just left. Your data encryption algorithms are impressive. I try to gather my thoughts, still reeling from the public exposure and my parents' predictable reaction. Thank you, Mr. Kane. Alexander. It's strange to hear praise for my work tonight, a night meant to be about my personal failings. I've been following your progress for some time, he continues, turning to face me. His eyes are dark and penetrating, but not unkind. You have a keen mind, Sophia, a rare talent. He pauses, then adds, his voice softening almost imperceptibly. And remarkable composure, given the circumstances tonight. My heart skips a beat. He's not just making polite conversation. He's acknowledging the elephant in the room, the drama that just unfolded. He saw. It's been an eventful birthday, I say, testing the waters. How much does he know? How much can I say? He offers a wry smile. So it would seem. He doesn't press, doesn't pry, which I appreciate. Instead, he shifts back to business, though the undercurrent of personal awareness remains. Kane Industries is looking to expand its cybersecurity division. Your technology would be a significant asset. This is it. The offer. It came in my previous life too, but I was too shattered then, too lost in Marcus and Elena's betrayal, to pursue it seriously. Marcus had discouraged it, saying Kane was a shark. Now I wonder if Marcus just didn't want me to become more successful than him. I'm aware of Kane Industries' reputation, I say, choosing my words carefully. You're a leader in the field. And you, Sophia, are a pioneer, he counters smoothly. I'm proposing a partnership. Or perhaps an acquisition, if the terms are right. He pauses, his gaze holding mine. I also believe that talent like yours deserves to be nurtured, not stifled. There's a subtle emphasis on the last word, a clear indication that he understands more than he's letting on. A surge of something akin to hope, sharp and unexpected, pierces through my carefully constructed defenses. This is my chance, my quiet power move. I take a breath. An acquisition could be interesting, I say, my voice gaining strength. But I'm not interested in simply being absorbed, Alexander. I built Innovate Next from the ground up. I have a vision for its future. His eyes gleam with something that looks like admiration. I would expect nothing less. The chemistry between us is palpable, an intellectual spark that's far more intoxicating than any champagne. We talk, not just as CEO to startup founder, but as two minds connecting, exploring possibilities. I find myself outlining my 5-year plan for Innovate Next, the ambitious goals I'd almost forgotten in the mire of my personal life. He listens intently, asks sharp, insightful questions, challenges my assumptions. It's exhilarating. And what about Marcus Thorne? He asks suddenly, his tone shifting, becoming more serious. His company has been making some questionable moves lately. Leveraged buyouts, hostile takeovers, he's making enemies. My blood runs cold. And what do you mean? Alexander's gaze is steady. Let's just say his ethical compass might be miscalibrated, and some of his recent acquisitions have been surprisingly interested in data security IP. Companies not unlike your own, though less advanced. The implication is clear. Was Marcus planning to use our marriage to get his hands on my company? The thought is sickening, but a dark part of me isn't surprised. It would be just like him. The wind picks up, whipping a strand of my hair across my face. The scent of rain is stronger now. A storm is coming, in more ways than one. We've been out here for a while. My absence, and his, will be noticed. We should probably head back in, I say, though I'm reluctant to leave the fragile sanctuary of this conversation. In a moment, Alexander steps closer, his voice dropping. Sophia, I have access to information. Information that could be problematic for Marcus Thorne. Very problematic. My breath catches. This isn't just about a business deal anymore. This is about leverage. This is about power. He looks directly into my eyes. Perhaps it's time Mr. Thorne faced some consequences for his actions. A shiver, not entirely from the cold, runs down my spine. An alliance. An unexpected, powerful alliance. The night, which began with such bitter despair, is suddenly crackling with a dangerous, thrilling potential. We return to the party, the air still thick with Elena and Marcus's self-congratulatory glow, though it seems a little strained now. They're holding court near the decimated birthday cake. Elena's laughter a shade too loud, Marcus's smile a little too fixed. They look like monarchs of a very small, very tacky kingdom. My entrance, with Alexander Kane at my side, causes a fresh ripple of whispers. Good. Let them whisper. Sophia, darling, there you are, Elena calls out, her voice like honey laced with arsenic. We were just wondering where you'd disappeared to. Just discussing some business, Elena, I reply, my voice cool and even. I walk towards Marcus. He looks nervous, his eyes darting between me and Alexander. Marcus, I say, my tone calm but firm, loud enough for those nearby to hear. I believe this belongs to you, or rather to your mother. I slide the obscenely large diamond engagement ring from my finger. The weight of it leaving my hand is a profound relief, a tangible symbol of my liberation. I hold it out to him. He stares at it, then at me, his face a mixture of panic and disbelief. Sophia, don't do this. We can talk about it, please. There's nothing to talk about, Marcus, I say, keeping my voice steady. Our engagement is over. His face crumples. But why? Because of Elena? We can work through this. I almost laugh. Work through this? He truly has no idea, does he? Elena's facade finally cracks. A furious blush creeps up her neck. Sophia, how could you be so cruel? On your birthday, after I just shared my wonderful news. Actually, Elena, I say, turning to her, my voice deliberately sweet. I've known about your affair with Marcus for months. A partial truth. I've known for 2 years, in a way. I was just waiting for the right moment to make my own announcement. The crowd gasps. Marcus looks like I've slapped him. Elena is momentarily speechless, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. I turn to where Marcus's mother, a formidable woman draped in jewels, is watching with narrowed eyes. Mrs. Thorne, I say, offering her the ring. I believe this is a family heirloom. I can't, in good conscience, keep it. My quiet power move. Returning the ring to her, not to Marcus, is a subtle but clear message. She takes it, her expression unreadable, but there's a flicker of something, respect, in her eyes. The guests' reactions are visibly shifting. The pity is morphing into something else. Curiosity, admiration perhaps, for my composure. I can feel Alexander's silent support from across the room, a steadying presence. Elena, recovering her voice, tries to regain control. She's just jealous, she screeches, her voice shrill. She's always been jealous of me, of what Marcus and I have. She's trying to ruin our happiness. Some of the guests look uncomfortable, but others are clearly eating up the drama. Marcus, meanwhile, is making increasingly desperate attempts to salvage his reputation. Sophia, please listen to me. This is a misunderstanding. I love you. His words are hollow, pathetic. He doesn't love me. He loves the idea of me, the convenience of me, perhaps even the status my family name, however tarnished by my failure in their eyes, might bring. The emotional charge in the room is intense. I feel liberated, soaring on a wave of adrenaline and righteous anger finally unleashed, albeit calmly. My old life, the one where I was a doormat, is well and truly over. This is my stage now. I let the silence hang for a moment, savoring their discomfort, their dawning realization that I am no longer the weak, pliable Sophia they knew. Then, I smile, a genuine, bright smile. Actually, Marcus, Elena, I say, my voice clear and carrying over the sudden hush. I have one more birthday surprise to share with everyone. And trust me, it's a big one. Their faces, already pale, turn ashen. The hunter has become the hunted. The silence in the room is absolute, every eye fixed on me. Elena looks like she might faint. Marcus is sweating profusely, his carefully constructed composure shattering. As some of you know, I begin, my voice steady and clear. For the past few years, I've been pouring my heart and soul into my tech startup, Innovate Next. I pause, letting the anticipation build. Tonight, I'm thrilled to announce a new strategic partnership. I turn and extend my hand towards Alexander Kane, who steps forward, his presence commanding. Innovate Next will be joining forces with Kane Industries. In fact, I continue, a triumphant smile playing on my lips. Kane Industries is acquiring Innovate Next in a landmark deal. A collective gasp sweeps through the room, louder this time, laced with shock and disbelief. Elena and Marcus stare at me, their faces a mask of horrified understanding. They've underestimated me. Epically. My mind flashes back to a conversation I'd overheard weeks ago in my previous life. Marcus on the phone, his voice low and conspiratorial. He'd been talking to one of his less scrupulous business associates, outlining a plan. Once we're married, her little company's IP will practically be mine. We'll integrate her tech, phase her out. She'll be too busy with babies to notice. The memory, once a source of sickening dread, now fuels my triumph. He wasn't just going to break my heart, he was going to steal my life's work. Alexander steps to my side, his hand briefly, reassuringly, touching my elbow. Sophia Chen is a visionary, he announces, his voice resonating with authority. Her work in data encryption is revolutionary. Kane Industries is proud to partner with her and to support the continued growth and innovation of Innovate Next under her leadership. The words "under her leadership" are a clear public endorsement. My leadership, not Marcus's. I turn to Elena, my smile dazzling. So you see, Elena, I say, my voice dripping with mock sincerity, I have to thank you. If you hadn't intervened with Marcus, I might not have been freed up to pursue these incredible new opportunities. This is my favorite quiet power move yet, turning her betrayal into a stepping stone for my success. The taste of the expensive champagne I sip, no longer bitter, but purely celebratory, is exquisite. Marcus's mother, a woman who values wealth and status above all else, is now looking at Elena with an expression of utter disdain. Elena, dear, she says, her voice like ice. That ring Marcus gave you, is that also a family heirloom? Elena, flustered and cornered, stammers, I don't know. Because if it is, Mrs. Thorne continues, her eyes glinting, I'll be wanting it back. My son clearly needs to learn the value of things. And people. Elena's pregnancy announcement, her moment of ultimate triumph, is completely overshadowed. Deflated. The air is thick with her humiliation and Marcus's dawning panic. He's not just losing me, he's losing my company, his mother's approval, and, it seems, his reputation. My parents are struggling to process this turn of events. Their failure daughter, the quiet one they'd largely ignored, is suddenly a tech mogul, partnered with one of the most powerful CEOs in the city. Their expressions are a comical mix of confusion and dawning, reluctant pride. Or maybe it's just the realization that I'm now considerably wealthier than they are. The entire atmosphere of the party has shifted. The whispers are no longer pitying or speculative, but admiring, excited. People are congratulating me, genuinely celebrating my success. It's a heady feeling. I radiate confidence. a stark contrast to the broken girl I was just a short while ago, in another lifetime. Alexander leans in, his voice low and for my ears only. I've arranged a small private celebration for us. When you're ready to leave this circus, a genuine smile touches my lips. I'm ready now. But just as we turn to leave, Elena, her face contorted with rage and desperation, lunges forward. This isn't over, Sophia, she shrieks, her voice cracking. You think you're so clever, but you don't know everything. Here we go, her final, desperate move to regain control. I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. Elena's voice, shrill and teetering on the edge of hysteria, slices through the stunned silence. She orchestrated all of this, she accuses, her finger jabbing dramatically in my direction. She's been planning it for months, maybe years. She's just jealous. Jealous of me, jealous of Marcus, jealous of our happiness. A few of the remaining guests exchange uncomfortable glances. The party is rapidly devolving from society scandal to raw, ugly family drama. Perfect. She turns to our parents, her eyes wide and pleading. Mommy, Daddy, don't you see? She's trying to destroy me. She's always been like this, trying to take what's mine. My mother looks uncertain, her loyalty wavering, as it always does when Elena plays the victim. My father just looks tired, weary of the endless competition between his daughters. But Elena isn't done. She whirls on Marcus, her carefully constructed composure finally imploding. And you, she spits, her voice laced with venom. You told me you loved me. You said Sophia was cold, boring. You said you couldn't wait to be rid of her. You told me intimate things, things about your performance, how she was never satisfied. Marcus's face turns a horrifying shade of purple. The remaining guests gasp, a mixture of shock and titillation. Elena, in her desperation to wound me, is unknowingly destroying her own relationship, revealing the shallow, manipulative foundations upon which it was built. He realizes, perhaps for the first time, that Elena has been playing him just as much as she played everyone else. Elena, shut up, he hisses, grabbing her arm. Don't touch me, she shrieks, yanking away. You used me, just like you used her. I watch this meltdown with a strange sense of detachment. There's no satisfaction in her pain, not really. Just a profound sadness for the person she's become, for the emptiness that drives her. I don't intervene, this is her storm, her making. When she finally pauses, breathless and trembling, I speak, my voice quiet but firm. Elena, I say, and there's a genuine note of pity in my tone. Constantly chasing what others have will never make you happy. You need to build your own life, find your own successes, not just try to tear down mine. This is my quiet power move, offering her advice, not condemnation. It's the last thing she expects. The sound of Elena's voice finally cracking, the raw edge of her broken composure, hangs in the air. Her mask drops completely, revealing the deep-seated insecurity and festering jealousy that have always been her driving force. She looks small, pathetic. Some guests, sensing the family drama has become far too personal, begin to make their excuses and discreetly slip away. My parents watch Elena, and for the first time, I see a flicker of understanding, of dawning horror in their eyes as they glimpse the true nature of their favored daughter's manipulations. It's a small, bitter vindication. Alexander, ever the consummate professional, discreetly handles a few remaining business acquaintances, smoothly deflecting attention from the unfolding Chen family implosion. He catches my eye, a silent question. Ready? I nod, but Elena has one last card to play. Her eyes, wild and tear-filled, fix on me. You think you've won, Sophia? You think this is over? Her voice drops to a venomous whisper. I know things. Family secrets. Secrets that could ruin you, ruin all of us. A threat, how predictable. I almost smile. Let her try. I've already died once. What more can she possibly do to me? The old Sophia would have trembled. The new Sophia simply raises an eyebrow. The chaos of the penthouse fades behind us as Alexander whisks me away. He has a private elevator, one I never knew existed, that descends smoothly, silently, to a sub-basement garage. A sleek black car waits, a driver holding the door. Within minutes, we're gliding through the glittering city streets, leaving the toxic remnants of my birthday party far behind. He's arranged dinner on a private rooftop terrace, a hidden gem overlooking the city skyline. The table is set for two, illuminated by flickering candlelight and the soft glow of the moon. It's an oasis of calm after the storm. The fine silk tablecloth feels cool beneath my fingertips, a welcome contrast to the frayed edges of my nerves. The aroma of gourmet food, something delicate and savory, drifts from a warming trolley nearby. I thought you might appreciate an escape, Alexander says, his voice a low murmur as he pulls out my chair. You thought right, I reply, a genuine smile finally reaching my eyes. Thank you, Alexander, for everything. The pleasure was all mine, Sophia. We talk for hours. Not just about business, though, we do finalize some of the finer points of the acquisition. My quiet power move being to negotiate a slightly larger equity stake in the new subsidiary and a guaranteed seat on Kane Industries' innovation board. He agrees without hesitation, a glint of amusement in his eyes at my audacity. But mostly, we talk about us, about our backgrounds, our ambitions, the winding paths that led us here. I share more about Elena's lifelong jealousy, carefully omitting the rebirth secret, framing my newfound strength as a hard-won epiphany. He listens, truly listens, his gaze never leaving mine. Then he surprises me by revealing his own difficult family dynamics. A distant, demanding father. A legacy he's fought to redefine. It creates a deeper connection, a sense of shared understanding. He's not just a powerful CEO, he's a man who has also navigated his own share of treacherous waters. I've been wanting to ask you out for months, he confesses, his voice a little rough. Even before all this, I was just waiting for the right moment. Or perhaps I was just a coward. My heart gives a little flutter, a pleasant, hopeful sensation. And is this the right moment? His eyes sparkle in the candlelight. What do you think? As midnight strikes, officially ending the longest, strangest, most transformative birthday of my life or lives, he leans in. His lips meet mine, a kiss that is both tender and passionate, a promise of new beginnings. It tastes of expensive wine and a future I never dared to dream of. Hope, it seems, can bloom even in the ashes of betrayal. We discuss our future plans both for Innovate Next and for us. It's exhilarating, a little terrifying. The old Sophia would have been riddled with doubts, with insecurities. But the new Sophia, the one forged in the fires of death and rebirth, feels a sense of calm certainty. There's still a ticking clock, a small knot of anxiety in my chest. How much of my truth can I share with him? How do I explain the uncanny wisdom, the premonitions, the sheer improbability of my journey without sounding insane? For now, I keep that part locked away, a secret treasure, or perhaps a ticking bomb. As if sensing my inner turmoil, Alexander leans back, his expression thoughtful. Sophia, he says, his voice soft, you seemed unusually confident tonight, right from the beginning, even before Elena's announcement, as if you knew what was coming. My breath catches. How much does he suspect? I choose my words carefully, the secret of my rebirth, a heavy weight, a fragile glass I'm afraid to drop. Confident? I echo, a small, contemplative smile playing on my lips. Perhaps. Or perhaps I just finally reached my limit, Alexander. I look out at the glittering cityscape, the endless possibilities stretching before us. Imagine living the same destructive patterns year after year, enduring the same betrayals, the same heartaches, from the people who are supposed to love you most. There comes a point, I think, when something inside you either shatters completely or it transforms. I turn back to him, my gaze steady. I decided to transform. I decided I was worth more than the crumbs they were willing to throw me. I finally saw my own value, not just as a businesswoman, but as a person. And I refuse to accept anything less than what I deserve. It's not the whole truth, not the impossible, unbelievable truth, but it's an honest truth. It's the emotional core of my journey, stripped of its supernatural elements. Alexander listens intently, his expression unreadable for a moment. Then, a slow smile spreads across his face, a smile that reaches his eyes and makes them crinkle at the corners. That, he says, his voice filled with genuine admiration, is the Sophia Chen I've been hoping to see. The one who built a revolutionary company from scratch with nothing but her intellect and sheer determination. He reaches across the table, his hand covering mine. His touch is warm, reassuring. Your strength, your vision, it's why I wanted to partner with you, Sophia. And it's why I'm so glad I finally found the courage to ask you to dinner. We finalize the remaining details of the business partnership, the legal jargon surprisingly intimate under the soft glow of the moon. Innovate Next, under Kane Industries, will have resources I could only have dreamed of, and I, Sophia Chen, will be independently wealthy, beholden to no one but myself and my own ambition. A quiet power move indeed, the ultimate one. As I reflect on how catastrophically different this birthday ended compared to the one in my previous life, death versus a new beginning, a profound sense of peace settles over me. The old wounds, though still tender, no longer have the power to cripple me. A thought surfaces, unbidden. Elena, what will become of her? The old Sophia would have felt a twinge of responsibility, a misguided urge to fix her, to save her. But the reborn Sophia knows better. I decide then and there that I will help her, if she ever truly wants it, but from a distance. Her path is her own to forge, her demons her own to conquer. I can't light myself on fire to keep her warm anymore. The night air grows cooler. Alexander notices me shiver and drapes his suit jacket around my shoulders. The warmth of it, scented faintly with his cologne, is a comforting embrace. We plan our first official date, a quiet evening at a hidden jazz club he knows, and discuss future joint ventures, our minds buzzing with ideas, with possibilities. Our conversation flows effortlessly, a dance of intellect and burgeoning affection. I realize with a sudden startling clarity that I'm truly free. Free from the toxic patterns of my past life. Free from the suffocating expectations of my family. Free from the ghost of Marcus and the shadow of Elena's jealousy. This rebirth, this second chance, has been a brutal gift, but a gift nonetheless. As the first hint of dawn paints the eastern sky in shades of rose and gold, Alexander surprises me with a small velvet box. Inside isn't a diamond, but a delicate, intricately crafted silver dragonfly pin. Dragonflies, he says softly, his eyes searching mine, symbolize transformation, renewal, self-realization, and an understanding of the deeper meaning of life. He pauses. It reminded me of you, of the woman I'm getting to know. Tears prick my eyes, genuine tears this time, not of sorrow, but of an overwhelming, unexpected joy. He listens. He sees. We talk about how we'll handle the inevitable family drama that's sure to follow. My parents' confusion, Elena's probable attempts at further sabotage. But it doesn't feel daunting anymore. With Alexander by my side, I feel like I can face anything. My resolution is clear. I will focus on building these new, healthy relationships, on nurturing this unexpected love and this powerful partnership, rather than endlessly trying to fix what was irrevocably broken. He takes my hand, and together, we watch the sunrise from his penthouse balcony, the city awakening below us. It's a new day, a new life, a life I almost didn't have. Gratitude, sharp and pure, floods my senses. For this rebirth, for the painful wisdom it brought, for the chance to finally, truly live. And for the man beside me who saw my worth even when I was still struggling to see it myself. This isn't just a new beginning, it's a transcendence,